Okay. Andre. Okay. Good morning, guys. How are you doing today? Good morning, online. Sorry, there was a technical issue. That's the reason got delayed. Yes, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking, Sharat. So how was your 2 days vacation? That's good? Nice. Okay. Hope you enjoyed the holidays. Okay. So what did we discuss in our last class? Cloud print. Practicals. Completed, huh? Everyone. Super. Very good. Okay, so without any further delay, let's move on to today's important topic. So what is this today's topic? Route 53. What is it, Nana? Route 53. So do you remember we already discussed a little bit on Route 53 as a part of overview? So I was asking this question many times. Whenever you create a load balancer or whenever you host a S3 static website, whenever you create a CloudFront, we'll get a nasty URLs, no? So how do you do the makeup in Route 53? So it's time to do the makeup. It's time to do the happy, huh? No, not your makeup, this makeup, right? So if you want to, so what is Route 53? It's a DNS service in AWS. Which one, Nana? It's a DNS service in AWS. So why we call it as 53? Because it is a DNS port number. So Route 53 is all about, as the name clearly says, a route. As the name clearly says, a route. So what it is doing, the main job of Route 53 is to route the traffic. Route. So we have the nasty URL. And in Route 53, what do we create? Records. Remember? What do we create in Route 53? Records. So let's say we have a load balancer nasty URL. So we'll create a record called boom.com is equal to that nasty URL. If someone hit boom.com in the browser, it will directly come to Route 53. In Route 53, it will check the records or boom.com, meaning I need to route the traffic to the nasty URL. So the job of Route 53 is only to route the traffic. And very another important thing is generally, Nana, if you want to purchase any domain, where do you generally purchase? GoDaddy. There are so many. There's so many websites are available right outside in internet where you can go and purchase the domain. But as we are working in Route 53, is it good to go and purchase the domain in GoDaddy? No. So the good thing about the Route 53 is we can go and we can purchase the domain in Route 53 also. What do? We can purchase the domain in Route 53 also. So you know you know to go to GoDaddy or somewhere. So here itself in Route 53, it will act as a registrar. It will act as a registrar. That means you can go and purchase the domain from Route 53. You're getting it? So let's go today deeper into this Route 53. Online, can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Hmm. Why is that? There's a loose connection here. Just a second, online. Projector is off here. హలో సరే ప్రొజెక్టర్ ఎవరు పంపిస్తారా? Okay, so let them come meanwhile. Let's not waste the time. So I'm writing here Route 53. Okay, don't worry offline if you are not able to see for some time. So Route 53. What is Route 53? What is Route 53? It's a DNS service from AWS. It's a DNS service. It's a DNS service in AWS. Why we call it as 53? Because it is a DNS port number is 53. For that reason, we call it as Route 53. And లూజ్ కనెక్షన్ ఉంది, ఇది కూడా ఆఫ్ అయిపోతుంది. అదే ఇదే ప్రొజెక్టర్ది. Okay, so what is DNS? What is DNS? Remember in our starting days, we learned about the domain DNS, right? So what is DNS? Domain name server. What is the job of the DNS? It keep tracks of all host names and then IP address. Remember, it will convert the host name to IP address to host name. So here I'll write what is DNS. DNS keep track of all host names and host names and IP address. And also what does it do? It will convert. Yes, it will convert IP to host and host to IP address. Yeah. And also in our starting days, like, in our starting days of our classes, remember we discussed about this DNS. Remember? So we took someone's example as a laptop and I told you browser require two things. What are those? What is that? Host name and then IP address. Yes or no? So browser require two things. What are those? Host names and then IP address. So host name we are giving as google.com. And how about the IP address? Is it possible for us to remember the IP address? No. Who will remember that? DNS will remember that. So browser require two things, host names and IP address. And now tell me, from the browser, the request will go to where? Local DNS. From the local DNS, the request will go to root name server. From the root name server, the request will go to top level domain. From top level domain, the request will go to name server. Remember name server? What is name server? I told you that let's take .com domain. If .com is a huge domain, inside that you will be having millions of websites. Correct? You will have a millions of websites. Out of millions of websites, how do your request will identify google.com? So there will be someone who will be inside and then raising the hands and calling. No, who is that person? Name server. Name server is not a person, it's a server only, no? Name server is a server only. So name server is a guy who will be calling the request that, hey, google.com, I am here, come here, right? So I'll be repeating this concept today in very quick, shortly here. So I'll take a laptop, example as a laptop. So this is a laptop. And browser require two things. What are those, Anna? Browser require two things, host names and then IP address. Host name and then IP address. Okay. So from the browser, the request will go to where? Local DNS. Local DNS. From the local DNS, the request will go to root name server. Root name server. From the root name server, the request will go to top level domain. Nana, do we need to really worry about all these things? Here, all these things, this part, we no need to worry. No need to worry. Okay. So from top level domain, the request will go to where? Name server. What is that? Name server. From name server, the request will go to SY. Fantastic. So name SY is the guy who will be handling the IP address, correct? So this name server and SOA, these two things will be handling in Route 53. These two things will be handling in the Route 53 now. Okay. So this local DNS, root name server, top level domain, all these things are not, we don't need to worry. It is handled by the organizations. We don't care about. But here, name server and SOA, this we will be doing it in the Route 53. And first of all, Route 53 is global. What is that? Route 53 is obviously no, because it has to handle many things throughout the globally, right? So Route 53 is global. Do you all agree that DNS, Route 53 is a DNS only, no? So DNS is all about records. What is that? DNS is all about records. DNS is all about records. So now in S3, what do we create? Buckets. In RDS, what do we create? DB instances, right? And in CloudFront, what do we create? Distributions. In Route 53, we create hosted zone. What do we create? Hosted zone. What do we create, Nana? So whenever you go to Route 53, the first thing, remember, you need to purchase a domain. What do you need to purchase it? What do you need to do? You need to purchase a domain. Without domain, you cannot do any practicals on Route 53. Without domain, you cannot work on Route 53. So guys, in order to do the practicals on this, in order to learn Route 53, we need to purchase a domain. Don't worry, I already purchased a domain to show you the practicals. It is up to you whether you want to purchase it or not. And purchasing the domain will cost you 1,000 rupees per year. Per year. So you can purchase the domain in Route 53 if you want to do the practicals. So many people, what they do is they don't purchase because 1,000 rupees. Oh, I could have done the recharge to my, I mean, you can do the recharges, no? Per year, okay. So, but Route 53 is equally important. So if you want to do practicals on Route 53, must and should, you need to purchase a domain. But there is also one more opportunity, one more chance here. You can say, can we purchase the domain in GoDaddy also? Yes, we can purchase the domain in GoDaddy where they're charging from 300 to 400 rupees only. And there are few websites where you can go and register free domains. There are multiple ways. Either you purchase the domain in Route 53, or you can purchase the domain in GoDaddy, or you can have a free domains somewhere in some websites. But you need to have one domain in order to do the practicals. But purchasing in Route 53, purchasing in outside AWS, there is a lot of difference because let's say, for example, if you have purchased the domain in Route 53, directly request will come to Route 53 only, no? Because our domain is in AWS. Let's say your domain is in GoDaddy. First, whenever you hit boom.com and boom.com, you have purchased in GoDaddy. The request will go to AWS or GoDaddy. Yeah. From there, GoDaddy, it will come to AWS. So that routing, that millisecond latency will be lost, no? For that reason, it is always recommended to purchase your domain in Route 53 itself, in AWS itself, in real time. But here, if you have any problem spending 1,000 rupees per year, so you can purchase in GoDaddy, or you can have some free domains outside somewhere. You can register it. Okay, now. So in Route 53 is global or regional? I'll write it here. Route 53 is global. Route 53 is global. What does the DNS contain? DNS is all about what, Nana? Records. DNS is all about records. DNS is all. So what do we create in Route 53? What do we create in Route 53? Hosted zone. Say that one more time. One more time. Hosted zone. Now, what is a bucket? Container of objects. That meaning in bucket, what do we have? Objects. In hosted zone, what do we have? Records. In hosted zone, what do we create? Records. Now tell me, what is hosted zone? Container of records. Very good. What is hosted zone? Container of records. Very good. Container of records. Online, say with me. What is a hosted zone? Hosted zone is a container of records. So as in S3, we have created a bucket. Now we need to give the name of the bucket. Here also we need to give the name of the hosted zone. No. While creating a hosted zone, you need to give the name. And what is the name that you will be giving as a hosted zone is your domain name. What's that? So assume what is our domain name here? Boom.com. So we can have anything.com, google.com, facebook.com, anything your company.com, anything your project.com, anything should be there. So here we are assuming what is our domain here? Boom.com. So boom.com, assume that I have purchased in Route 53. Okay. So what is the domain name that I have purchased? Boom.com. So what is the name of the hosted zone here? Boom.com only. The hosted zone name should be same as your domain name. That is very, very important. Hosted zone name should be same as the domain name. The hosted zone, it should be or domain name. Let's say boom.com. Now you're getting it online. You're getting it. Okay. Online, are you with me? It is. Okay. Okay, I'm repeating. What do we create in Route 53? Hosted, louder. What do we create in Route 53? Hosted zone. What does the hosted zone contains? Records. What does the hosted zone contains? Records. Super. Nana, there are two types of hosted zones. How many types of hosted zones are there? Two types. Number one, we call it as public hosted zone. And number two, number two is private hosted zone. Very good. Right answer. So there are two types of hosted zones. What are those? Public hosted zone and private hosted zone. So public hosted zone meaning you know very clearly. If you create a hosted zone as public, your website will be accessed throughout the internet. And if you have created a private hosted zone, your website will be accessed within the VPC. So which one mostly will create public or private? You don't want your website to be accessed by everyone. If you want your website to be accessed by everyone, will you create in public or private? Public. And if you want your website to be work only within the VPC, within the AWS, then private. Within the company intranet, then we call it as we go for private. So there are two types. In Route 53, first of all, what we have a hosted zone. What do we have in Route 53 first? Hosted zone. And hosted zone, what is our hosted zone here? What is the hosted zone? Name. What is the name? Boom.com. So there are two types of hosted zones. How many types of hosted zones? Two. Number one, public, and number two, private. Public hosted zone, and then here private hosted zone. Now public hosted meaning which will be worked throughout the internet. And private meaning within the VPC. You getting it? So what does the Route 53 contain first? Hosted zone. Say that. What does the Route 53 contain? Hosted. What does the hosted zone contains? Records. So now there are two types of hosted zone. Which is the hosted zone that we have created? Public hosted zone. In the public hosted zone, what do we create? Nana now? Records. What do we create? Records. We create records. So if I say, what does the hosted zone contains? Records. So how do you create the record? Let's say, for example, boom.com should be going to the ELB nasty URL. Yes or no? So this is the record, this is the mapping that I can create now. Yes or no? Okay. See here. Now someone hit boom.com. So the request will first come to AWS in which service? Route 53. In Route 53, what does we have? Hosted zone. What does the hosted zone contains? Records. What is the name? What is the record that we have? Boom.com mapping it to ELB nasty. So the request will now go to where? ELB. Now request will go to ELB. You all understand how the request is flowing through the Route 53? So here, so this is a load balancer. What does the load balancer contain? EC2 instances. This is ELB, EC2, EC2. Is it clear, Nana? Now we tell me the flow. First, the request will go to Route 53. Inside the route, what from the Route 53, the request will go to hosted zone. From the hosted zone, request will go to records. From the records, it will go to ELB. From ELB, it goes to EC2. Understood, Nana? Do you all understood the how does the path works here in Route 53? Is it clear online? CC? Okay. Very important thing here is what is a hosted zone? Container of records. What is a hosted zone? Container of records. Okay. In the hosted zone, whenever you create a hosted zone, two records will be created automatically. Whenever you create a hosted zone, how many records will get created automatically? Two records. So those are number one, we call it as NS record, SOA record. Which one? NS is nothing but name server. I told you, no, name server and SOA will be handled by in Route 53 only, no. So whenever you created a hosted zone, two records will get created automatically. What are those two records? NS record and SOA record. Now, NS record is a name server, no. It's a server only, no. So, but is it good to have AWS only with one server or multiple servers? Multiple servers. So there will be 4 servers provided by AWS. How many servers? I told you, in .com, who is the guy who will be raising the hand and shouting, hey, Babu, come this side? Name server only, no? So how many name servers are there here? 4 name servers, which are handled by AWS. So in hosted zone here, how many records are created? In public hosted zone, what are the 2 records got created, Nana? NS record, and another one is SOA record. Can I say NOS record is a pool of servers? How many servers? 4 servers. Managed by? So do we need to do anything there? Nothing. What is SOA? SOA is the admin of hosted zone. Admin of hosted zone. Now, what are the 2 records that will get created automatically? Certification question. NSN, SOA records are automatically created and handled by? Yes. So there will be a certification also like this, which is the default records that hosted zone has. NSN, SOA are called default records. Now, if you delete NS and SOA record, your website will work? No. First of all, you cannot delete NS and SOA. Don't delete. But if you do any modifications, your website will not work. So NS and SY records are very, very, very important. Is it clear till here? Slowly? Anna, clear? Online is this clear, Anna? Super. Okay. So I told you basically Route 50. What does the Route 53 provides? Route 53 features. What is it, Anna? Route 53 features. What does the Route 53 provide? Number one, domain registration. Yes or no? Domain registration, DNS routing. What is that? And we call it as health checks. And the last very important is routing policies. What is that? Very, very important that we're going to talk today. So mainly, what does the Route 53 features are? Number one, domain registration. You can go and purchase the domain there. And DNS routing. It's all about routing. No, Route 53 is all about routing. What routing is that? DNS routing only. And then health checks. I'll talk about that. And what is the last one? Routing policies. There are so many policies that we'll be talking today. Okay, now, so Route 53 features. Now, I told you, you can purchase the domain in Route 53 also, or you can purchase the domain outside AWS also. Yes or no? Inside AWS also you can purchase, outside also you can. Which one is recommended? Inside only. Because if you purchase outside, let's say for example, I'm giving an example for you, real-time example. This is GoDaddy. Which one? GoDaddy. No Kammami, huh? GoDaddy. So let's say you have purchased boom.com in GoDaddy. Where? What is that you have purchased? Boom.com. Where did you purchase? In GoDaddy. Where did you purchase? In GoDaddy. Okay. Then, as I said, you can purchase the domain in Route 53 also. Or you can purchase the domain in GoDaddy also, or any provider you can purchase. Agree, yes or no? Whenever you purchase the domain in Route 53, whenever you purchase the domain in Route 53, you no need to create the hosted zone manually. Automatically hosted zone will be created. What is the name of the hosted zone? Domain name only, no? So whenever you purchase a domain in Route 53, again I'm saying, whenever you purchase a domain in Route 53, automatically hosted zone will be created. With what name? Boom.com. Whenever the hosted zone got created, automatically two records will get created inside it. What are those two records? NS and SY records. Agree? So whenever you purchase the domain in Route 53, automatically hosted zone will be created and automatically NS and SY records will be created. But whenever you purchase the domain in GoDaddy or outside AWS, does the hosted zone will created automatically? 100% no. We need to create it manually. Once you create a hosted zone, again, automatically what records will be created? NS and SY records will be created. So Nana, if you purchase the domain in Route 53, nothing you know to do. Hosted zone, NS records will be created automatically. If you purchase the domain outside AWS, we need to create the hosted zone manually, but NS and SY records will be created automatically. You got this point, right? I'm writing it here. So if you purchase here, no need to create hosted zone. It will create automatically with NS and SOA records. Whereas here, Nana, we need to manually create hosted zone. It will automatically create what? NS and SOA records. NS record is nothing but it's a group of servers, no? NS record is nothing but a group of servers. How many servers will be there? 4 servers. Okay, now assume you have purchased, if you purchased a domain in Route 53, any problem? No problem. Automatic hosted zone will be created, automatic NS records will be created, and you create your own record. Whenever someone hit boom.com, directly it will come to AWS Route 53 and it will work. But let's say you have purchased the domain in GoDaddy now. You have purchased the domain in GoDaddy. Whenever you hit boom.com, first the request will come to where? GoDaddy only, no? First the request will come to GoDaddy. But our infrastructure is in AWS. Our load balancer, EC2, everything, entire application is in AWS. But our request is coming to GoDaddy because you have purchased the domain in GoDaddy. Now tell me, from here the request need to go to Route 53, no? Because our infrastructure is in Route 53. How does the GoDaddy knows the request need to redirect to the Route 53? You understand? You understand the question? If you have purchased the domain in Route 53, no problem. Everything will work as usual. But if you have purchased the domain in GoDaddy or any other provider outside, the request will first come to GoDaddy only. Does the GoDaddy has infrastructure? No. Infrastructure is where? In AWS. Now our request need to redirect from GoDaddy to Route 53. So in order to route like that, what we need to do is, Nana, so we have this we have this NS record, no, 4 servers. That 4 servers you need to update in GoDaddy. That 4 servers you need to update in GoDaddy. What you need to update here, I'll write update in AWS Route 53 NS records here in GoDaddy. Once you update it here, now GoDaddy knows, oh, I need to send the request to Route 53. For that reason, it will get redirected to the Route 53. Once it is getting redirected to Route 53, from there Route 53 will take care of it. And agree? So you need to update this NS and NS records in the GoDaddy. Is this clear? Update records in GoDaddy. And this one, requests are redirected to AWS. If you have purchased a domain outside AWS, this is the extra configuration that you need to do in order to work. Please see this diagram. Any questions, please ask. Online, is it clear, Nana? Any questions? Is it clear? Okay. So I'll repeat in summary, in whole. Okay. So we know that Route 53 is a DNS service in AWS. Which one? DNS service. What does the Route 53 contains? Records. Okay. What do we create in Route 53? Hosted zone. What do we create? Hosted. What is hosted zone? Container of records. Container of records. There are 2 types of hosted zones. What are those? Public hosted zone and then private hosted. Which one is a very commonly used? Public hosted zone. So whenever you create a public hosted zone, so how many records will be created automatically? 2. What are those? NS and SOA records. So what is NS record? It's a pool of servers or a group of servers. How many servers? 4 servers. These are handled by AWS. Route 53 is global or regional? Global. So whenever you hit boom.com, the request will come to Route 53. From Route 53, it will go to hosted zone. From hosted zone, it will go to records. From the records, it will go to load balancer or EC2 or S3. It will wherever it CloudFront, wherever it can be based on it. So if you have purchased a domain in Route 53, do you need to create a hosted zone? No. So automatically hosted zone will be created. And what are the 2 records will get created automatically? NS and SY records will be created automatically. If you have purchased the domain outside AWS, so hosted zone will be created automatically? No. So we need to create a hosted zone, but NS and SY records will be created automatically. What is the extra thing that you need to do it in GoDaddy or any other provider? You need to update NS records in the GoDaddy so that the request will be redirected to AWS. Clear? Online, CC, Nana, CC. Sir, in Route 53, automatically 4 NS get recorded. Similarly, in GoDaddy, how many NS? Let's not worry about GoDaddy. And it also has NS records, but we don't need to worry, Vishaka. It depends upon GoDaddy itself. Okay, ma'am? And then next. So as we are talking about records, what it is all about records only, no? Route 53 is all about records. So DNS is all about records, and Route 53 also has records, Nana. Route 53 also has a records. Let us talk about few. There are many records, but let us talk about few records that is required for us. So what we talk about here, Route 53 records. So there are different types of records. When I call it as, what is it called? Will you call it as a recorder, a recorder? Huh? A recorder, a recorder. A normal school, a record. Oxford University people, a record. Okay. So I'll write and I'll explain. So this is a record. Okay. If it is a record, then what is this called? What record is called? A record. Which record? A record. Okay. So no. So don't call it as a record. Call it as a record. And the next one here we call it as double A record. Which one? Double A record. Don't call it a record or a record. No. So this one is URL to IPv6. So like this, there are so many records are there. CNAME record. URL to URL. And then alias record. Which is URL to any resource. And then we have MX record. So guys, there are so many records. I cannot keep on writing all these records, but at least we need to learn few records here. What is the first record, Nana? A record, which is IPv4. I'll talk about that soon. AA record is related to IPv6. So do we need to worry about this? No. So we no need to. So we will not talk about this record. We'll talk about CNAME records, and then we'll talk about alias records. Yeah, Priyanka said PTR records. There are so many records are available. So let's take very important. And MX record is related to your emails. So the here mainly important records that we regularly use are A record, CNAME record, alias record. And that too inside it, A record and alias record is very mostly commonly used record. Which one is the mostly commonly used records? A records and alias record. Alias. Do you know what is alias? What is alias? In news readers will people will say no. Nickname. Madhu alias Katari Madhu. No. So like this, right? Duplicate names we have it. No. So if I call Madhu also, okay. Or if I call it as Vanga Madhu also, or some other Katari Madhu, whatever it is. So that is also same thing, right? So here also we have this type of different records. Based on the requirement, we need to use the record based on the requirement. So let us talk about the first record, which is a record. A record. Okay. Now I'll give me one name. Give me one small name. I need few. Huh? Small name. Deva. Deva. Whose name? Oh, me dumpal lega. Oh, Prabha's name, huh? Deva. Oh, you already watched, huh? Good, huh? Nice. Blockbuster. Good. Okay, so we have deva.com. Huh? Okay, so we have deva.com. So I assume this is deva.com. We have it. Now, whenever someone hit deva.com, the request will go to whom first? Route 53. Very good. The request will go to Route 53. From the Route 53, the request will go to Ah, excellent. From here, it goes to hosted zone. Hosted zone. Hosted zone. From hosted zone, the request will go to records. Records. So here, assume that we already have a record. What is the record here? You tell me. Deva.com. Going to where? ELB. So generally we will be sending it to ELB. But this time, can I directly send to EC2 instance also? EC2 instance IP address? Yes or no? Assume that, but is it recommended to send it to EC2 instance? Because it is a single point of failure, no? So we have load balancer to distribute the traffic, right? So here, but just in case, if you want to send to EC2 instance IP address, then what record that you need to create? A record you need to create. So that's why I call it as URL, this deva.com URL to IP address. That is called a record. What is called, Nana? A record. So if you want to use the IP address, URL to IPv4, then which record you need to use? A record you need to use. Which record? You understand? The target is the IP address. The target is the IP address. So if you have any requirement to use the target as an IP address in Route 53, then which record you need to create? A record you need to create. Which record? A record. So that is the A record. Next, I'll talk about double record. We don't talk because that is related to IPv6. So we don't use IPv6. Now let's talk about CNAME record. What is it, Nana? See, what is a CNAME meaning? Canonical name. What is that? Canonical name is also similar name. Canonical meaning similar. Canonical meaning similar. So I'll take the same example, deva.com. If someone hit deva.com, the request will go to Route 53. From Route 53, it will go to hosted zone. From hosted zone, it will go to the records. So this deva.com, now instead of sending it to EC2 instance IP address, now I'm sending it to where? ELB, our favorite one. ELB DNS URL. So can I call it as URL to URL? Deva.com URL to nasty URL. So this is URL to URL. Now, if at all you want to use this URL to URL concept, that meaning your load balancer, then go for the CNAME. Which one? CNAME. What is the next one we have? Alias record, which is alias record. Here also I'll take the same example. Someone hit, you hit deva.com, the request will go here. Now, here instead of going to EC2 instance IP address, here either you can go for EC2 instance IP address or either you can go for the ELB DNS URL. So that's why I call it as URL to any resource. URL to any resource. You understand? So based on the requirement, you need to choose the record. But I would suggest which is the most commonly used record? A record and alias record. Which one? A record, alias record. So here, sir, why can't we use CNAME record? I'll tell you the reasons here. Now here we call it as, we have deva.com, correct? http://deva.com. Now what is this deva.com called? Can I call it as main domain? And you also call it as naked domain. What is that? Or you call it as zone apex record. What is that? Zone apex. There are different types. Deva.com, google.com, facebook.com, instagram.com or something.com. So what are these called? Main domain, or you call it as naked domain. What do you call? Naked domain. And on another words is zone apex record. So in certification also, in interview also, if they ask what is a naked domain, what is a main domain, what is a zone apex record, then you call it as the main domain. We call it as naked domain or zone apex record. And let's say, for example, can I call google.com is a naked domain? Yes or no? So in google.com, do we have images.google.com, photos.google.com, maps.google.com? news.google.com, videos.google.com. What are all these called? Subdomains. What are these called? So for deva.com, can we call it as admin.deva.com? Can we have like this? hello.deva.com, prabhas.deva.com. What are all these called? Subdomains. What are all these called, Nana? Subdomains. Subdomains. But the problem here is for CNAME, naked domain, they both are enemies. CNAME and naked domain, that meaning your main domain. Can we have a record for naked domain? Can we use CNAME? Answer is no. I'm repeating it. For naked domain, that meaning for main domain, that meaning deva.com is sending to the ELB URL. Can we use CNAME for that? Answer is no. For main domains, you cannot use. For naked domains, for main domains, you cannot use CNAME. Instead of that, which one you should be using it? Alias record you can use. Which one? That is one of the important thing that why we will not be choosing CNAME. So for naked domain, CNAMEs will support? No. Which one will be supported for your main domains? Alias. And another very important thing that why we don't use CNAME is, now you tell me, CNAME is billable, alias is free. Which one would you use? Obviously, no. Right? So CNAME also, alias also work like the same as CNAME. Then why you are using CNAME? Go with the alias because alias is free and alias will also work for your main domain. For everything, alias is good. For that reason, I said, so in real time, we'll use the combination of a record and alias record. So here I write for naked domain, deva.com cannot use CNAME record. Correct, Nana? Instead, use alias. For all, no, for all subdomains, can we use CNAME? Yes. For all subdomains, we can use CNAME. CNAME will not work only for main domains. For CNAME will not work for only main domains. CNAME will work for your subdomains? Yes. Only problem with the CNAME is main domain is equal to no. Okay. So always choose. Remember, always choose alias over, yes, over CNAME. And I'm writing here, CNAME is billable, whereas alias is free. Now you can easily say which one you will be using it. In real time, we'll use a combination of a record plus alias record. Remember this, because in practicals, we do this, a record plus alias record. Nana, is this clear? Any questions online? Is this clear till here? Chitty, is this clear online? CC till here? So don't leave the class until I say there is one announcement. But yeah, that's a constraint. Sir, why CNAME do not work with main domain? So CNAME will not work for the why, meaning it's a constraint. Okay. Let us go with the next very important thing, which is called routing policies. What is that, Nana? Please concentrate. Very, very important. In Route 53 is all about these policies only. So based on what requirement, how do you route, where do you route is the matter here. Okay. Okay. So now I'll take one example. Give me one more name. http:// give some name, not movie names. Huh? Who is Ajay? Very good. Like this. Ajay.com. Which one? Ajay.com. Okay. Now, when someone hit Ajay.com, the request will go to where? Route 53. First, the request will go to Route 53. From there, the request will go to hosted zone. Very good. From the hosted zone, it request will go to records. What is the record that might have created here? Ajay.com is pointing to where? ELB DNS name. Yes or no? Guys, is this clear? Now, if I'm pointing Ajay.com to ELB DNS name, first of all, I need to have the infrastructure ready or not? Yes. So this is in which region? Mumbai region. So this is Mumbai. So in Mumbai, I need to have the setup. ELB, EC2, EC2. Listen this carefully. This is ELB, EC2, EC2. ELB is monitoring EC2 instances. Yes or no? Using? How does the load balancer is monitoring the EC2 instance application? Using? Using health checks. Okay. So the load balancer is doing the monitoring to the application using health checks. Is there anyone doing monitoring for the load balancer? No. See here. Whenever someone hit Ajay.com, it will go to the load balancer DNS. That means the request will go directly to here. Yes or no? Yes or no? Wow. So here the request is directly going to load balance. Agree? Okay. So just in case if something goes wrong with this whole Mumbai site, you are doing monitoring on the EC2 instance application level. Are you doing monitoring on Ajay.com level? If something goes wrong with this whole thing, your Ajay.com will work or not? Work or not? No. What you are doing, Ajay.com, you're simply routing to the load balancer. Yes or no? So this is called simple routing policy. What is this called? Simple routing policy. Nana, are there any health checks on your Ajay.com? Louder. Yes or no? No. There is no health checks for Ajay.com. So simple routing policy has any health checks? No. So the first routing policy here is simple routing policy. Does a simple routing policy any health checks? No health checks. So you are simply routing it, Nana. What you're doing? You're simply routing it to the target. That's it. You're simply routing it. But your customer says that, hey, be careful, my website should never go down. My website should never go down. So in that case, one setup is sufficient. How many setups you need to have? Minimum 2. So how many setup? 2 setup. First of all, do you understand what is simple routing policy? That is done. Simple routing policy meaning you are just routing it to your you're routing it to the load balancer. That is simple routing policy. Now let us talk about another policy called failover routing policy. Which one? In failover routing policy, how many records you need to create? 2. How many records you need to create? One record is for primary and another record is for secondary. Yes or no? So how many setups you need to have for failover routing policy? 2 setups minimum. How many setup? So assume my Mumbai is a primary setup. And here I have another setup in, I mean, not setup here. So assume that I have another, what do you say, Ray? Give me some other name, not good. Infrastructure, okay? So primary setup in Mumbai, secondary setup in Ireland. Assume. So how many regions are there? 2 regions are there. So now you have 2 regions, primary region, secondary region. Good. These names are good. Primary region, second region. So now how many records you need to create for this? Two records. Obviously, one record is which is sending it to primary, another record which is sending it to secondary. So here I'll take ajay.com only. So ajay.com, primary record meaning ELB DNS name. Which DNS name? Which region? Mumbai. So can you call it as primary record or secondary record? Primary record. So which region you have creating this? Mumbai. So now we need to create one more record. Yes or no? Yes or no? We need to create one more record. So name should be changed. Ajay.com name should be changed. Huh? No. Ajay.com, but this is what record? Send record. Where? So, and this failover routing policy definitely need to have health checks, no? Without health checks, see, whenever you hit ajay.com, first the request will go to which one? No, primary recorder, secondary recorder? Primary. So this route 53 will send it to primary here. Just in case, this route 53 will be doing health checks to your primary site. This route 53 will be doing the health checks to the primary site. Hey, ajay.com working or not? Ajay.com working or not? Ajay.com working or not? Just in case this primary is down, route 53 will send the request to secondary so that automatically the request will send it to this load balancer. So if you have this setup, your website will be go down. Your boom.com website will be always working. And what type of, how do you achieve this using what policy? Failover routing policy. What policy, Nana? Failover routing. So do we have health checks for this or not? Yes, we have health checks. Now we can create our own health checks also, or AWS also providing the health checks. So you can AWS also providing the health checks, or customers can also create the health check. You understand? Simple routing policy meaning simply for routing it to the ELB. Nothing is there. Failover routing policy meaning if one site goes down, you have another site which will pick up your website. You understand? Okay, little bit differently. Nana, if you have a similar site, ELB, you don't feel any difference. Your website will be always working, yes or no? But sometimes few websites says site is under maintenance. Instead of always working, you will have a website called if something went down, site is under maintenance will be there. Yes or no? How do you get that? We can also do that. See here. See, assume this is your primary site, which is working. And all of a sudden, this went down. Instead of this, what you need to get? What page you need to get? Maintenance page you need to get. Yes or no? Instead of maintaining maintenance page, I'm giving you the website, whole website. But Nana, instead of secondary site, can I have like this? Can I have maintenance page in S3? Maintenance.html is a small page. No. Do you need EC2 instance for that? No. What you do is create one small maintenance.html page in S3 bucket and do static website hosting. Website hosting. S3 bucket. See here, Nana. I put the static. So now just in case if primary goes down, my request will need to go to S3 website. This is one scenario I have given where your website will never go down. That is, you need to have two similar setups. But if I want to have a just maintenance page, what you can do? You get secondary record instead of sending to load balancer. Can I send it to S3? Ajay.com. Instead of sending, where I need to send here? S3 website endpoint. Yes or no? So instead of, I call it as here or your secondary site can be S3. So automatically, when your primary site goes down, automatically it will redirect to the maintenance page. See, based on the requirement, you can do the architecture. Is this clear? So how many routing policies that we have learned here? Two. What are those? Simple routing policy, failover routing policy. Is this clear, Nana? Chitty online, is it clear till here? Online chitties. But you need to have secondary, no, Vishaka? Okay. So now, Nana, I am putting little bit to your brain. See here. This is Mumbai. This is Mumbai. So in Mumbai, I have deployed the application. Where is our application? In Mumbai. Where application? In Mumbai. So what is the website here? This time, whose name? Give me some name. Haima. Hima. Oh, sorry. Haima. Oh, Hima, na? Hi meaning. Hima. Okay. So Haima. So let's say, for example, we have Haima.com. Okay. So Haima.com website is in which region? Mumbai region. So whoever is accessing from India, they have low latency or high latency? Obviously, they have the low latency. So now I have this. What is this? What are these? Solar system, planets. Huh? So which region is this? Ireland. Very good. This one? Tokyo will be on top, bottom. Here, US. Our kidney. Here, this is your favorite Kim Mama. Tokyo. Okay, so now you tell me, whoever is accessing Haima.com from Mumbai or from India, they'll have a low latency. But if they're accessing throughout these regions, what they'll have? Low latency or high latency? Obviously, high latency. Tell me, Chitti, now, how do you resolve this? Egg bhujia. Louder. Edge location is the concept. Edge location is the concept, obviously. Last time also we did. But here, my question here is, my application in India, it is in English language. In Tokyo, I need to have in Japanese language. In Ireland, I need to have in Irish language. In this case, CloudFront will help? Yes or no? In this place, CloudFront will help? No. Because CloudFront will be caching my English application only, no? But my Tokyo people need to have in Japanese language. Ireland people need to have Irish language. In that case, what we need to do? CloudFront will not help. So there is no other chance that you need to put your own application in which language? Japanese language here. So in each and every region, you need to put your own language. Yes or no? So now, our user here in Tokyo, who is his name? What is his name? So, Kim Mama, you want? Okay. So let's say user Kim is trying to access Haima.com. Right? He is trying to access what? http://haima.com. Now you tell me, whenever he open the browser and he type haima.com, the request will go to where? Route 53. And from Route 53, the request will go to hosted zone. In hosted zone, records. And you need to have a record, no? So you tell me, Route 53 will send the request to Tokyo na, Mumbai na, where? So for that reason, in Route 53, you tell me how many records I need to create. In Route 53, how many records I need to create for this requirement? How many? Very good. How many? 6 records you need to create. Like how http://haima.com is going to Mumbai ELB or IP address. Okay, na? So like this, how many I need to create? 6 I need to create. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What are those? Ireland, Canada, US, Sydney, and then Tokyo. How many records I need to create, Anna? 6 records. Now you tell me. Now this Kim has trying to access haima.com. Where does it go? It goes to the Route 53. First, it'll go to the Route 53. In Route 53, how many records are there for this? 6 records. Out of the 6 records, which record will get responded? Tokyo will be responded. So from here, the request will go back to the user. So this is called geolocation routing policy. Which one? Based on the user's location. Or let's say, for example, from Ireland, we have Maria. Okay, we have the girl, Maria. So if Maria trying to access it, who will be responding it here? Which record will be responding? Ireland record will be responding. So based on the user's location, Route 53 will respond according to their user's location. So this is what called a geolocation routing policy. Say that. Geolocation routing policy. So this is based on your location. Now, if you ask, sir, how does the Route 53 knows it is coming from Tokyo, USA, Ireland? That is the intelligence that Route 53 has. Route 53 automatically will identify based on the IP address from where the request is coming and will redirect to the particular record, right? So Route 53 will identify the user or request location and automatically redirect to the particular record. So this is called what policy, Nana? Geolocation routing policy. Online, is this clear, everyone? Online, offline, everyone? Is it clear? So what are the routing policies that we have learned till now? Failover, geolocation, routing policy. Super. And then lastly, we have can you please explain difference between CloudFront and geolocation? CloudFront is related to caching, right? If you have one application in one region, if that same application need to be copied to multiple global regions, then you go for the CloudFront. But here I have different applications. CloudFront, single application, many cache. But here, every region have a different application. For that reason, is it possible to use the CloudFront? No. So for that reason, you need to go for each and every region, you need to put your own application there. Okay. So now I'm using one more time. What are these again? Regions only, huh? First one, our favorite, Mumbai, Ireland, Canada, US, City, and Tokyo. So Nana, here I have applications in each and every region. Okay. I have application in each and every. This time I have application in each and every region. And the user is sitting here and is trying to access, what's the name? Uh, uh, Madhu. Nee name చెప్పరా నా name ఎందుకు? Okay. So we have madhu.com. Let's say we have madhu.com here. Everywhere we have Madhu application. In each and every regions we have Madhu application. So, but here in US it is taking 40 seconds to respond. Here 1 minute to respond, 2 minutes to respond. Mumbai it is taking 50 seconds to respond, 10 seconds to respond, 20 seconds to respond. So the user is in which location? US location. Now tell me which one will be responded to the user. From which location that you will get a response? From Tokyo. So why? Why? Louder. Because of the low latency. Fantastic. So Tokyo wala will be responding here because having a low latency. Nana, here regions doesn't matter. Yes or no? The user location doesn't matter. Wherever it has the low latency, from there it will get responding. But in order to have like this, you need to configure one more policy called latency-based routing policy. Which one? Latency-based routing policy. Latency-based routing policy. You understand? So latency-based routing policy is purely depend upon the latency. It doesn't matter about the regions, user's location. So here also, how many records you need to create? 6 records you need to create. So requests get connected based on low latency. Doesn't matter about the user's location. If you need to have based on the user's location, then which policy that you need to take care? If you are worried about user's location, which policy that you need to configure? Geolocation. But if you aren't worried about the latency, then you need to create latency-based routing policy. Here also, how many you need to create? Nana? 6 records you need to create. 6 records you need to create. And some GGB things are there you don't to worry about. So one of them is multi-value routing policy. What is that? Multi-value routing policy. Nana, simple routing policy has any health checks? No. But this guy, it is same as simple loading policy, but multi-value has health checks. That's the only difference. But this is not very commonly used. It's fine. And then lastly, we have something called weighted routing policy. What is that? As the name clearly says, weighted routing policy, meaning I'll say this very easily. Assume that you have EC2 instances, or it can be a load balancer, or it can be anything. So we have the client here. So clients here, but I'll say, hey, only 10% request should go to this. Based on the percentage, you can redirect the traffic. Okay. So you have application here. Application. EC2. This is EC2 or ELB, anything. So Nana, here I'll say only 10% traffic I need to go here. 70%, 80% traffic I need to go here. Again, why 80? Let's say 50% traffic I need to go here, and rest here 40% traffic I need to go here. So based on the weightage that you have given, the traffic route 53 will get redirect the traffic to the particular targets here. Clear? Everyone, is this clear, Nana, till here? So congratulations, Route 53 is done. So Route 53 is all about routing policies. Very, very important. What are the routing policies? Simple routing policy, failover routing policy, geolocation routing policy, latency-based routing policy, multi-value routing policy, weightage routing policy. Inside this multi-value weightage is not much. Rest everything we'll be doing it. And then there's no, sir, if we have CloudFront edge locations and latency-based routing, in that case, how to relieve? So CloudFront edge locations, doesn't matter. Whichever, Rupali, whichever region is giving a low latency, you will get response from that. But no, here in general, US will have a low latency or Tokyo will have a low latency. No, don't worry about the seconds here. Imagine that I have not written the second. Generally, US will have a low, the user is in the US location only. US will have a low latency or Tokyo will have a low latency. Obviously, US only have the low latency because it is from the same region. To make you understand, I have given Tokyo as 10 seconds. So it doesn't matter about the regions. Depend upon the latency, it will come to you. Okay, Nana? Is it clear online? Correct, Harsha. Very good. CC till here, everyone. Okay. So I have an announcement. Everyone, please listen carefully. What announcement? Huh? Okay. So it has been so many days that I have asked this question. So I just wanted to ask this question as we are coming to the end of the course. So how is the course? Louder. Super. Huh? Let us hear from online. Very good. Great. Very, very, very good. Excellent. Super. Extremely informative. Worth taking it. Worth Varma. Worth. Excellent. Just wow. Huh? Very much detailed and informative. Worth it. So, Nana, I'm saying this. A trainer should have guts to ask this question at the end of the course. Yes or no? Generally, everyone, what they do is, done, last days, complete, data, bye, done. They don't give this opportunity also to ask whether how is the concept. So, so do you remember how many days that we have done till now? 56 or 7? 53 or 53, 55 days, let's assume. So 55 days. So how many days that I have committed? 55 days. 55 to 60 days, I said. So before, when you attended my classes, before you joined my classes, just imagine where were you technically. So on technically, I said from zero, I'll make you hero. So are you super confident till now, whatever we have discussed on AWS or not? You are super confident. Okay. And also, I wanted to ask you, Nana, before you joined my class, you might remember you are going here, there, attending that demos, these demos, there, here, and then finally you came to me. Yes or no? So now you are very happy that you have learned all the technical topics from me. So now people like you, students like you, people like you are also searching and waiting for the right trainers. So what I want you is, do you remember in our starting days, I showed you one Facebook page for the reviews, feedbacks that our old people has written. So it's time for you to help others. So what I want from you is feedbacks. So just go to Google and type just AWS Riaz. Oh, it's there already. Riaz trainer. By the way, those who haven't seen me online, so this is me. Finally, you saw Big Boss. You saw me online? Uh, that's me. Smiley faces now. Huh? Finally, you saw, after going for 7 hills, huh? Okay, that's not happened. Okay, so do you see this, Nana? This is a Facebook page that, that we have here. So what I wanted from you is your lovely feedbacks. So people like you have written so much of lovely things about me and the classes. So what I want from you is, Nana, this will help others. So I'll be showing you your feedbacks to the upcoming students so that they will have a confidence that they are with the right person. So indirectly, you are helping others to set their careers. So would you give this feedback? We do write few lines here. Everyone online, online chitties. Surely, why Azam is very nice, Rupali. And experienced people, I just wanted to hear from you. Experienced people, those who are online. So whatever that you have learned from me, so is this everything is real time and it's really helpful in your real time or not? Let's boost others, those who are, let's back me up, guys. Do you see that? Those who are not working and those who are freshers, do you see how much that we have learned? You can see from the experienced people, they are saying it's very, very, very helpful and useful. So the only thing is, Dana, you should wait for the opportunity. Once, I always say this, once you get the opportunity, you will kick it. So here, see, yes, sir, even in real time, we won't get much knowledge. See, Ranjan is saying, Vishaka, right? Rupali, see here. There's so many people, as they're already working, they knows that how this course has helped him a lot, right? So you have learned quite a lot. Good. So what you want to do is only one thing. You can think it as a you no need to, or you no need to give me, or you no need to give any any kind of guru dakshana. So you can consider your feedbacks is like a guru dakshana for me, and also your feedbacks will help others. Everyone knows Riya sir. Yes or no? But what I want you to do is to go and please write the feedbacks over there. Right? First, go and join group. Do you see this here? Click on join group. You write the feedbacks. Admin will read it and he will approve so that it will be visible here. Okay, Nana? Will you able to do it? Everyone? Can I see it by tomorrow? All feedbacks? Don't they say, sir, I forgot, sir, I'll do today, tomorrow, right? It's not good. So it has to come from your heart. I'll not say this like again and again. So please go ahead and then write your valuable feedback. You are indirectly helping others to set their careers with the right trainers. Okay. Okay. Good. Take the screenshots, please. Okay. And number two. Yeah. Number three. Number 4. And the last. Okay, ma? Super. Hey, and yes, people are asking, not only, well, there is some echo is coming, huh? Okay, so those who don't have Facebook, not only in Facebook, wherever you go, what I'll do is there is a Google Narisheti feedback reviews are also there. I'll put that link in the Google Classroom. This Facebook link, that link. Not only this, anywhere, if you like me, if you love me a lot technically, please go ahead and then bombard it anywhere in the social media, anywhere, right? So many people, what they did was, we have a habit of going to Google and searching, no, best trainer, la la la, right? So there are many people who posted in Quora. Quora is very common thing that people know. Quora, and then mouthshut.com is also one more there. So I'll give the URLs there. You write one feedback in one page and copy paste in everywhere so that it will be helpful for others, Nana. Okay. So we need to help others like this also. Correct. Great. So please see that Google Classroom. I'll update those links. Okay. Super, Nana. So can you give the final CC for today online? CC with smile, please. Yeah. Please don't forget for the writing the feedbacks. That is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the next topic. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.